Violent protests in the US intensifies. President Trump threatens to send in army to end unrest. Supreme Court to announce decision on election-related FR petitions today. Major General Jagat Gunawardena assumes duties as the new Chief of Staff of the Sri Lanka Army. Total number of COVID-19 patients in Sri Lanka rises to 1,643.
Hello there and welcome to Lunchtime News here on TV1. You're joining me, David Paldano. Now, what is the situation that is currently unfolding in the United States over the death of George Floyd? Now, we are joined by Newsfirst Zulfiq Farzan in our newsroom to give you the very latest on the situation. Zulfiq?
Thank you, David. George Floyd, an African-American man pinned to the ground by police officers. For 9 long minutes he struggled and he said, I can't breathe, until his last breath. The death of George Floyd had triggered multiple protests across many states in the United States of America, and clashes have also broken out between police officers and protesters. Now just today, US President Donald Trump declared himself as the president of law and order in a special statement at the Rose Garden. Now, US law enforcement, however, have not taken this statement very lightly. They have also hit back at the president's comments.
Arrest while being restrained by Minneapolis police. On Monday, President Donald Trump told US governors in a call their response to nationwide protests made them look weak to take a tougher stance.
You have to dominate. If you don't dominate, you're wasting your time. They're going to run over you. You have to arrest people and you have to try people. And they have to go to jail for long periods of time.
Trump, those incidents are happening. Iraq has begun the first stages of a mission to bring peace and prosperity to the region after the nation deployed thousands of forces to stabilize the region in the wake of recent political and social unrest. Now back to the United States, 4 police officers in St. Louis have been struck by gunfire. Now a Twitter post said, and I quote, all have been transferred to an area hospital. All are conscious and breathing. The injuries are believed to be non-life-threatening, unquote. Now at the same time, Terrence Floyd, that's George Floyd's brother, he has appealed to the protesters to stay calm and that this is not the way forward. Terrence Floyd urged the people to stop the violence and use their power at the ballot box.
Y'all right. Let's do this another way. Let's stop thinking that our voice don't matter.
That's right.
And vote.
There you go.
Not just vote for the president, vote for the preliminaries, vote for everybody. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. Don't wait for somebody else to tell you who's who. Educate yourself and know who you're voting for. And that's how we gonna hit them. Because it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us.
That's right.
It's a lot of us.
It's a lot of us.
Thank you, Zoe, for that comprehensive update on the situation unfolding in the US. Now, shifting our attention to the local news, the decision of the Supreme Court to grant leave to proceed in the FR applications filed challenging the election date will be delivered this morning. We're now joined by Newsfirst Charlene Benedict for an update on the situation.
The Supreme Court is due to deliver its decision on whether or not the fundamental rights applications challenging the proclamation issued by the President dissolving Parliament and the Gazette issued calling for the elections on the 20th of June will be granted leave to proceed. Now, the consideration of these applications to grant leave to proceed took 10 days. Petitioners were given an opportunity to make submissions. Respondents were given an opportunity to make submissions. Also, a number of intervenient petitioners were also given time to make submissions. Now, a highlight is the fact that the Supreme Court did not in any way constrain to a time limit the submissions that were made by the petitioners, the respondents, and even the intervenient petitioners. Everybody was given the opportunity to freely make their submissions without any time constraints. However, yesterday the Supreme Court said that it was mindful about the fact that these fundamental rights petitions have been examined to grant leave to proceed for an extended period of time, and inform the Council that the hearing of these petitions, or the consideration of these petitions to grant leave to proceed, will conclude yesterday. And it did conclude yesterday, and the Supreme Court during the adjournment said that the decision on whether or not the Supreme Court will grant leave to proceed in these applications will be announced at 3 p.m. today. So we will be standing by at the Supreme Court to bring to you the latest details on what happens at the Supreme Court. Given the fact that this is an important constitutional matter, it will decide when the elections will be held, when the general public of Sri Lanka will be able to exercise their franchise, or will the petitioners be granted leave to proceed. And this matter will continue in the future weeks. Stay tuned to News First. We will keep you up to date as and when things unfold here at the Supreme Court. I'm Charlene Benedict for the News First team.
Another suspect has been arrested in connection to the incident where a store in Ratmalana was shot at. The police special task force said the arrest has been made during a mission carried out in Runugodahena, Akurasa.
On the 19th of May, a store in Ratmalana was attacked and vandalized. Subsequently, on the 20th of May, the same store in question was shot at using an automatic weapon. According to the police, a suspect who aided the attacks had been arrested in Akurasa. The suspect had previously been arrested in connection to the shooting carried out on former councillor of the Dehevala Mount Lavinia Municipal Council, Ranjan De Silva, on the 24th of May 2018 and had later been released on bail. The police STF revealed the suspect had attempted to assassinate an underworld leader named Ratmalana Roha on the 1st of March in 2017. Police has seized 5 milligrams of heroin and mobile phone, which was in his possession upon his arrest. The police STF has handed over the suspect to the police organised crime unit for further interrogations.
Plans are underway to build the Anuradhapura prison in Oyamaduwa.
Minister S.M. Chandrasena arrived yesterday to inspect the proposed prison premises. It is reported the proposed land spans over 100 acres.
More than 25 acres of land essential to further develop Anuradhapura are within the prison complex. Therefore, it is our plan to shift the prison to Oyamaduwa. I intend to present a cabinet paper around 100 acres of land in Oyamaduwa be issued to the prisons department. I will present it next week and obtain the land and ensure the new prison complex is built within 3 years.
The coastal line of the Duamodara area in Koskara Gaol is being eroded.
The bund constructed by the Coast Conservation Department a few years ago to prevent the soil erosion has also been destroyed. Area residents claim that the soil erosion has enhanced due to the rough seas experienced in the area.
Now in one of the headline-making stories, Major General Jagat Gunawardena assumed duties as the new Chief of Staff of the Sri Lanka Army at the Army Headquarters in Sri Jayawardenepura.
Major General Jagat Gunawardena assumed duties as the 55th Chief of Staff of the Army. Army spokesman Brigadier Chandana Wickramasinghe said Major General Rosika Fernando is to assume duties today as the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Army. Rosika Fernando previously served as the commander of the Eastern Army Unit. Meanwhile, Major General T.S. Bonsajaya was appointed as the 42nd Commander of the Sri Lanka Army Volunteer Unit established at Sithawaka in Kosgama. Major General Pradeep De Silva of the Commando Regiment has assumed duties as the Director General of the Chief of Staff. Major General Pradeep De Silva is also the current head of the Commando Regiment.
Now, the total number of COVID-19 cases in the island has increased to 1,643.
10 COVID-19 cases were discovered yesterday. Meanwhile, 811 patients have been recovered and discharged from hospitals. The health sector stated that 821 people are currently receiving treatment at hospitals. The 11th COVID-19 related death was reported yesterday. The disease was a 45-year-old returnee from Kuwait.
Well, that is a wrap of lunchtime news here on TV1. For more news, log on to our award-winning website www.newsfirst.lk. For the Newsfirst team, I'm David Paldana. Take care.